be about half an hour total.
Yeah.
And I'll be gone. I'll come in and tell you when I'm finished.
Oh, go for it, go for it.
Okay?
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Just be aware that I might have to come. I'm going to leave it, but if someone else comes and tells me, then I have to come.
If you're told to come and speak to me, you do what you've been told to do. Yeah?
Thank you.
Obviously, don't try and pull the control off me, nothing like that.
I'm not going to do that.
But I'll be just there.
Yeah, no worries.
All right? Thank you very much, mate. It's lawful.
Right, no. Come here.
Go on.
Walk with me.
Yeah, sure. Where we
Can
going?
you count? Because I don't want to assume that you're not a numerate. Can you count?
Well,
did you launch it from here?
No.
Where did you launch it from?
Above there. I walked down to here.
But you're vertically, it was seen above this spot. So
no, the drone's been up there. Probably where we are now.
Right. Okay.
Along there.
Come here.
Go on.
Right.
What are you showing me?
Walk me. 1.
Right.
2.
What are we counting? Meters.
Right. I'm going to say.
No, I don't. Go on.
I told you that your drone use would be considered a privacy issue to the people in that hotel.
I've stayed away from the windows.
I checked. It doesn't matter whether you've stayed away from the window.
Of course it matters.
It's got a camera that can zoom in.
I'm not here to zoom into the window, my friend.
I don't know what you haven't done.
Today we're looking at a the courtroom battle between a self-proclaimed sovereign no time and a judge who refuses the drone flight as a privacy. The defendant is facing serious charges nearby a hotel behind bars for years, raising the hypothetical classic sovereign citizen intrusions. But his argument lines like entirely on what the drone could do, as if that's somehow rather than what the auditor makes the case actually. It doesn't. The auditor has made that clear from the very effort to avoid what's striking here is the judge's no-nonsense approach, showing both caution, no patience for theatrics, strong understanding made of where the line, just a steady, controlled hand on the gavel, filming from A. It sets the tone for everything that even using a drone, and it quickly escalates a breach of privacy unless it targets. As you watch, individuals think about whether the judge balanced firmness intrusive. I think he handled it exactly right, but I'll let you decide. Zoom lens isn't enough to make that leap. The officer's concern, while perhaps genuine, is not legally grounded. It confuses the potential for misuse with actual misconduct.
Can I show you one? I'll show you the video.
However, I've also checked the details of what you can do with a small drone.
Yeah.
All right?
Sure.
And you can't go within 50 metres of someone horizontally. There are people in that building.
Not true.
Well,
I'll show you the legislation.
I've just looked at the diagram.
Scroll down to the bottom, 250 underground.
Secondly, what did I tell you would happen? Is that this would get called in as a security alert.
I've been in there, I've told them.
Stop talking.
They had no issue.
Stop talking and listen to me, right? What did I tell you would happen? Is that this would get called into police as a security
But it's
alert.
you're back.
Talking and listen.
You need to speak to your boss, mate.
Right. Stop talking and listen.
No
I don't need to be.
Go on, I'll listen to you.
To any
I'm going to
boss.
look the research thing up. You talk. Go on.
What I told you is that if you launch a drone in this location,
I'm going to put it back in the bag.
Make sure you do. And if it comes out again, honestly, this time, there's no mucking around. I'm just going to.
For a YouTube video.
Yeah. The drone part, yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, counter-terrorism unit.
Well, I hope.
Like I told you.
I hope that they know. Yeah? I hope that they know the legislation a bit better.
Right.
Because 250 on an underground drone can go any distance from anywhere. Within reason.
Today we're looking at a courtroom battle between a self-proclaimed the officer's decision and a judge who refuses to counter-terrorism unit. The defendant is facing serious charges. There is no suggestion here behind bars for years. Activity, yet he still leans on the classic sovereign citizen tactics. Anything remotely expect to hear lines like "I don't consent," escalation, as if that somehow terrorism makes the case disappear. 2000, it doesn't. Particularly, and the judge makes that clear from the very beginning. What's striking here is the judge's no-nonsense approach, involved in terrorism, no patience for theatrics. No tolerance for made-up simply laws, does not apply. Just a steady, a peaceful, lawful drone audit carry. It sets the tone out in the open, everything that calling follows. Counterterrorism escalates for a drone into a tense exchange. Complies with CIA rules. Think about whether the judge disproportionate with fairness. It undermines. I think he handled it exactly right, but I'll let you decide. Serious policing. Let's dive in. Units.
You have to be safe.
Yes.
So if I was to hover it over these people, clearly he's reckless. If I go and fly right up to the windows, it's a privacy issue.
What's the distance that you can go horizontally?
There's no distance with a sub 250
meters.
There's no distance with a sub 250 gram drone.
I looked it up.
You're wrong.
With the size of your drone.
You're wrong.
50 meters.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
Anyway, the point is, I said the point I'm making to you is not that this is an issue of the drone regulations. I'm not here to.
But I'm not breaking any laws, my friend. I know you don't like it, but I'm okay to do it.
Right. At the moment, you're not going to leave until I've taken your details under the Police Reform Act, Section 50. You've now got a right to give me the details because you're doing something.
What crime do you suspect me of?
Okay, a breach of the drone regulations. And
I haven't breached. I can show if you want.
Okay, you've caused a security alert to happen at this station that luckily I've been able to keep a lid on. Okay, because of the conversation we had earlier.
Today we're looking at officer demands the auditor's self-proclaimed sovereign details and a judge insisting he's not to play along anywhere until he is facing serious charges that could land Section 50 bars of the Police Reform Act. Yet he still leans on the classic sovereign citizen. But here's the legal problem. Expect to hear lines Section like 50 only applies when a person as if that's somehow believed to be engaging in antisocial. It doesn't. Behavior. The judge makes meaning conduct from the very beginning. What's striking here is the judge's no-nonsense approach. Others, no patience for specific legal, no tolerance for made-up laws, and filming in a steady, controlled hand, especially when done calmly. It sets the tone for everything within the bounds of drone regulation, and it quickly escalates. Doesn't meet it into a not even close exchange. When, as you watch, challenge the officer, think about whether the judge balanced suspected offenses are a breach. I think he handled it exactly regulations, right, but I'll let you decide. Breach of the peace. Let's dive in. But neither justification holds water. First, if there were a genuine breach of CIA regulations, that would be a civil matter enforceable by the Civil Aviation Authority, not grounds for immediate arrest or Section 50 demand. Second, breach of the peace is an archaic common law concept that applies when violence is either occurring or imminently threatened. There's absolutely nothing in this encounter to suggest that. Even worse, the officer presents this demand as non-negotiable, saying the auditor won't be allowed to leave. That kind of language amounts to a de facto detention, and without a lawful basis it could breach Article 5 of the Human Rights Act, which protects the right to liberty.
Had I not been here, or I'd been engaged with something else, that would likely to have escalated to something much bigger, which is the very breach of the peace that I advised you not to do, and yet you've gone ahead and done it. So, for that reason, I'm going to require your details.
Can I just speak to this officer?
No. Not leave. If you
I'm not going anywhere. I'm trying to talk to him.
If you try to leave, okay, I will arrest you for a breach of the peace, right? You're talking to me, you can talk to him in the moment. Right.
I believe you're overstepping your mark, and I'd like a senior officer to deal with this. I'm not going anywhere, mate. I'm not going to run away.
You are not going anywhere, because if you do, you will be arrested, because
I have not committed any offence. Right. I am lawful to fly here, my friend. I am lawful to fly here.
Okay. The point, as I'm trying to explain to you, which you seem to childishly trying to be getting a reaction.
I just want to fly my drone, mate.
Social media channel, and I'm not really bothered.
I don't want no reaction.
I'm here
I just want to fly my drone.
Sure an international railway station, an iconic hotel, and another railway station across the road of national importance are able to carry on operating without pointless and avoidable security alerts.
CAA, yeah.
Right.
Drones under 250 gram, right? No.
Stop.
There's no distance. Right. I have not broken any regulations, so you have no suspicion of a crime. The only thing I'm required to give you is the ID on the drone, which links to the registration of the drone.
Of the peace.
Today we're looking at a courtroom battle between a self-proclaimed sovereign citizen and a judge who refuses to play along. The defendant is facing serious charges that could land him behind bars for years, and calmly attempts to explain, yet he still leans on the classic sovereign citizen tactics. But he's not breaking any laws. Expect to hear lines trying to have a reasoned discussion, backed by official guidance, the very case disappear. Same rules police are supposed to, and the judge makes that clear from the very beginning. Fairly. What's striking here is the judge's no-nonsense approach. He ignores no patience for theatrics, no tolerance for made-up laws, outright steady and doubles controlled hand on the gas, shouting breach. That sets the tone for everything that follows. That by this point, it quickly escalates into all excuse for a lack of actual. As you watch, think about whether the judge. And here's where it gets firmness with fairness. Legally dangerous. I think he handled an officer right, but I'll let you decide. Presented with clear evidence that no offense is being committed and refuses to even consider it. Their actions begin to slide from ignorance into willful misconduct, breach of the peace, as established in our Leoport and Chief Constable of Gloucestershire 2006 requires a real and immediate risk of violence or disturbance. There's none of that here. There's no shouting, no crowd, no agitation, just an auditor calmly operating a drone in line with national guidelines.
You have done something.
I haven't breached the peace. Flying a drone will not breach the peace, officer.
I told you that it was likely to create a security alert.
But that is not a crime.
I've had someone come running into our office going, there's a guy flying drones. Can you come check it out from a security point
of course.
Exactly what I predicted would happen.
Yeah, but I've came in to tell you what I'm doing.
What if it wasn't me that he came to speak to, and it was another officer who goes, oh my God, this could be anything. Let's
generally
evacuate.
Look, I'll be honest with you.
Or he'd gone straight to his manager before coming to us, and they'd made that decision. Okay. I told you that was a possibility.
I can't stop people overreacting.
No,
I've told you. I've told the hotel.
You can.
I've pre-warned everybody.
You can, because I told you that was a likely consequence to your behaviour.
It's unjustified.
And you carried on doing it.
It's unreasonable. I'm not committing a crime.
Today we're looking at acting courtroom battle between a self-proclaimed sovereign trying to avoid detection and a judge who refuses the auditor to play along. Created no alarm. The defendant is facing serious charges that could land him behind bars. A security alert was raised, yet he still leans on the classic due to his conduct tactics. But rather, expect to hear lines reaction by individuals or staff, as if that's unfamiliar with the law makes the case. That's not a breach of the peace, and the judge makes that clear from the very beginning. In communication on their side. What's striking here is the judge's no-nonsense breach of the peace requires no patience for theatrics, conduct that is no tolerance for made-up laws, immediate violence, a steady or controlled hand on the disturbance that sets the tone for everything has to be linked to the action. And it quickly escalates person being into a tense exchange. Here, as auditor's actions are calm, think about whether the judge balanced firmness and legally compliant. I think he handled it exactly right. Behavior leads others to overreact. That's not a legal justification to detain or threaten him. It's a training issue for staff and, frankly, the officer himself.
This officer on the end of the phone here is one of our drone specialists. He's going to categorically tell you cannot launch that from here. Listen to what he's got to say. Hello. And introduce himself. Jobs are good. In short,
hello. Hi, mate. It's PC Green and with BTP. Basically, where you're trying to take off from my understanding. Now, I'm not there, but from my understanding, if you're looking at the maps that I'm looking at, which is drone assist, you are trying to take off within a restricted airspace. If you're trying to take off in that restricted airspace, you will be committing offence under the air navigation order.
No, where I am, I'm outside St Pancras, which is only in EGR.
That's called
160 specified area.
Which is a specified area and shown as restricted airspace.
No, the specified area is for helicopters only. Drones are allowed in the specified area. The City of London is very close, but I'm not in that zone.
Today we're looking at a courtroom battle between a self-proclaimed sovereign citizen and a helicopter refuses operating under certain. The defendant is facing serious charges that could land him behind royal movements or VIP. Yet he still leans on the classic sovereign citizen. Airspace is managed by NOTMS. I don't consent. At specific altitudes, usually above disappear. 1,000 feet. Most and the judge makes that clear from the very beginning. Those in the open category is the judge's conducted no-nonsense 400 feet. No patience for theatrics, operational and made-up laws, EGR 160, controlled what the auditor is asserting. That sets the tone for everything that is that this restricted, and it quickly does not apply to drones intense exchange. There's a specific watch or think about whether the judge restriction zone in place that says, I think he handled it exactly right. There's no indication. I'll let you decide. Such a restriction is active here. In fact, if you check the National Air Traffic Service Drone Assist app or official CAA airspace maps, EGR 160 does not prohibit drone flights. By default, it depends entirely on the operational altitude and the nature of the restriction. The auditor clearly understands this and explains it better than the so-called specialist.
Also, have you got insurance, on a separate note, have you got insurance to be flying it for commercial purposes?
I do. I don't think I need to have it, but I do have that, yes.
If you're uploading it to YouTube and there's a potential for monetary gain, you need commercial insurance.
I do have it anyway, I do, yeah.
Can I get your insurance code, please?
Code?
Yep, there should be on your insurance document a code saying that it covers it.
I don't have the details to log in right now, mate. I literally made it yesterday, but the thing is, I don't think I need to provide you that anyway, but I am with that company. If you check them out now.
Under the air navigation order, mate, if I require that you provide me with proof of insurance to fly the drone for commercial purposes whilst you're with that drone and trying to fly it, and it's not got the code on your side of your aircraft with your operator ID number, that drone can be seized.
I do have the code on the drone, yeah. I know I have to provide you that.
Yeah, and it also says under that same navigation order that you are to provide proof of insurance.
I don't need insurance though for this drone.
Because you're flying it for commercial. YouTube counts as commercial purpose. If you're uploading it to YouTube, it's for a commercial purpose. Therefore, you require insurance.
Today we're looking at a courtroom battle between intended for a monetized YouTube video and a judge. The auditor is flying under the oath. The defendant is category using a drone that could land him behind bars for years. Under current UK leans on the classic 2025 that type. Expect to hear lines like not legally I don't consent. Insurance. As if that's somehow which means there's no makes the case obligation to provide an insurance. And the judge makes that clear to the police or anyone else. What's striking here is so-called drone no-nonsense is applying. No patience for theatrics, no tolerance for made-up operations, just a steady, controlled hand on the gavel. Near truly sets the tone for everything that follows. Heavier drones quickly escalates into a tense open category. None of that applies. Think about whether the judge is low-risk compliance. I think he handled it exactly right, but I'll let you decide. Permitted without CA authorization.
Anyway, let me just try and log in. I don't have an issue giving it you, but
yeah, no, that's fine, mate.
Yeah, he's got an insurance policy from FPV UK, and it says you're now covered by our £5 million public and product liability insurance, which includes commercial drone use. However, you have, as I explained to you, do you understand what a common law breach of the peace is?
Officer,
do you understand?
Flying a drone illegally is not going to cause a breach of the peace.
Right.
It can't be interpreted as that.
Right. Anything that disrupts the normal, unhindered running of society, okay?
Me standing there is not doing that.
Deliberately, especially when someone knows or ought to have known that would cause a breach, is a breach of the peace. Okay? I've told you specifically, if you fly a drone there, we will have a security alert immediately raised in the station.
Doesn't mean it's reasonable.
And what has happened? It doesn't matter whether you believe it's reasonable.
You guys know now that the drone is legal. So anybody that calls you say we've checked him out, he's all legit.
A breach of the peace, and I've told you the reasons why.
Today we're looking at a courtroom battle between a self-proclaimed sovereign citizen and a judge who refuses to play all legit. The defendant is facing serious charges that could told you the reasons why now. Yet he still leans on drone details have been verified, including the insurance code. I don't consent. Auditor provides as if that somehow for the sake makes the case disappear. Cooperation doesn't issue, and the judge makes that clear from the very beginning. Drone is legal to fly. What's striking here is the judge's no-nonsense every regulatory box has no patience for theatrics. Instead of standing no tolerance for made-up original officer just a steady, controlled hand pushing for personal details that sets the tone for everything doubling down on his earlier claim, and it quickly escalates a potential security exchange. As you watch, think about whether the judge balanced firmness with fairness. I think he handled it exactly right, but I'll let you decide. Let's dive in.
A security alert outside an iconic hotel, an international rail hub, and another key piece of national infrastructure over the road.
It doesn't matter, officer.
It does matter, because if they had... Right, I'm not having this conversation with you again. I'm going to demand your details, and then I'm going to direct you to leave the vicinity of the railway station. If you come back, you will be arrested, all right? But you will be arrested if you do not give me your details so that I can record the...
I've committed no offence.
You've committed a breach of the peace. Are you going to give me your details, or am I going to arrest you? This isn't a thing I'm doing.
I think you should call your boss before you arrest me.
No, I'm going to.
Just before you do.
I've advised you not to do something because
it would be an unlawful arrest.
No, it wouldn't, because I gave you the opportunity not to take the action. You've chosen to do it, knowing that it would be regarded as a breach of the peace.
1 second, I'll show you.
Are you going to give me your details or not? Section 50, Police Reform Act. If you do not give me your details, I am going to immediately arrest you. Are you going to give me your details now?
I haven't denied it, have I? I haven't said I won't.
Give me your details now.
Today we're looking at a completely unjustified, self-proclaimed sovereign the officer has failed and a judge who refuses to play along. Lawful basis. The defendant is facing serious charges that could land him behind bars for Section 50, yet he still leans on the classic sovereign citizen. The go to power for expect to hear lines like someone's name and I don't consent only applies. As if that somehow when someone is reasonably believed to. It doesn't. Be engaging, and the judge makes that clear from the very beginning. Causes what's striking here is the judge's no-nonsense approach. That threshold no patience hasn't been theatrics at any. No tolerance for made-up laws. Just by now, steady, it's crystal clear that the auditor that sets the tone for everything that follows. The threat quickly escalates under these circumstances. As not only a misuse of think about whether the judge balanced firmness potentially breaches. I think he handled it exactly right. Rights under Article 5 of the Let's dive in. Rights Act, which protects against unlawful detention, threatening someone with arrest for refusing to provide details when there is no reasonable suspicion is a serious overstep, and it exposes the officer and the force to potential legal liability.
Under threat of arrest, I'll give you the details.
Right, surname, please.
Surname? Are you sure you want to do this?
Yes, absolutely positive. Yeah, I have no choice. You've committed an offence, I have to take your details.
But I'm going to go and commit that same offence now, aren't I?
No, you're not. I explained this to you. First name?
Daniel. And as I said, before I give you the date of birth, are you 100% sure? Because I will 110% HNK it later.
Right.
With this whole video.
As you've committed a criminal offence...
Please don't.
I have to do appropriate checks.
You know
the quickest way... Okay. If you
I haven't. No, I said, you know I haven't committed an offence. You know I haven't because I'm about to do it now.
I've informed you that you have. So, no, you're going to do something different now. Like I said,
what do you need? Look, I'm not going to be arrested.
What's your name?
I'll give you the name.
What's your... any middle names?
No.
Have you got a police record that we can check this against?
I don't need to give you that, do I?
I don't know.
You check.
I need to verify that these are genuine. The quickest way, based on my knowledge of how the system works, okay, is to give me your date of birth. If you don't want to give me that, that's fine.
Whatever I'm required to give by the law that I think you're overstepping, but whatever you demand, I'll give it to you under threat of arrest. What do you need?
I need your name and address, but because you're being really, really cagey about giving it, I require you to give me your date of birth.
I'm not being cagey.
Because
I'm saying it because I feel like you don't want to do it.
That is a way.
I feel like you don't want to overstep the mark, and I feel like you want to walk away, and you don't want to have a civil claim. That's what I feel, which is why I've said to you, are you sure?
I want not to arrest someone.
I'm not being cagey.
No, but you've been quite...
Nothing to hide.
Right, give me your name and date of birth then. If you've got nothing to hide...
I'm not happy that you've infringed on my rights.
I don't require you to be happy.
Today we're looking at a courtroom battle between a self-proclaimed sovereign citizen and a judge who refuses to play along. The defendant is facing serious charges that could land him behind bars for years, yet he still leans on the classic sovereign citizen tactics. Expect to hear lines like, "I don't consent," as if that somehow makes the case disappear. It doesn't, and the judge makes that clear from the very beginning. What's striking here is the judge's no-nonsense approach. No patience for theatrics, no tolerance for made-up laws, just a steady, controlled hand on the gavel. That sets the tone for everything that follows, and it quickly escalates into a tense exchange. As you watch, think about whether the judge balanced firmness with fairness. I think he handled it exactly right, but I'll let you decide. Let's dive in. Eventually, the officer gets the auditor's details, but only after being repeatedly warned that he's acting outside his authority and risking a civil claim. The auditor remains calm, reminding him that no offense has been committed and the drone has already been verified as legal. Despite that, the officer shows no concern and continues, pressing not out of necessity, but sheer pride. The auditor makes it clear he's going to HNK solicitors, and rightfully so. This wasn't just a misunderstanding. It was a misuse of Section 50, an unjustified threat of arrest, and a likely case of unlawful detention.
Right,
you've done
I've got to be honest, from what you've shown me of your work with the drones, do you know what, that's got a huge artistic merit. You've wasted, today, 2 hours of my time, right?
Have I?
Yeah, because if you just followed my direction, I wouldn't...
Had I followed it though, I would have just not flown at all, I would have walked off.
Well, exactly, and that's what I want.
And now we've agreed that...
You can do it elsewhere, different action. I've agreed.
Still round here, but I'll be over there, right?
Yeah, if you do it here, I will be back and it will be a different story.
Can we just clarify, officer? No, 1 second.
No,
if I'm here...
everything.
No, hold on. So you said, as long as I'm off there at the property, yeah?
Yeah.
I don't want to be... I don't want to have you come back.
Trespassing because they said they don't want you here, so you need to leave this place.
Just to clarify, you're happy for me to do it, but not anywhere on here?
We've explained this to you.
I don't want you coming out again, that's all.
You know where the zones are on your map from the CIA.
So as long as I fly legally, you're okay with it?
Obviously, avoid the area around that crane. Do not go on King's Cross Square.
Yep.
Do not go on this forecourt of this hotel because the management of the hotel have said that they don't want that happening. I've told you.
You can let the station know now with your authority. You can say I've checked him out.
That's
it's all good.
Circumstances
don't worry about it.
But do not go over I've given you, I will tell them that I've given you clear directions not to fly over King's Cross Square, not to fly over St Pancras Square, that's kind of the square at the back. You know,
but I lawfully can, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stay out here.
You can't, because I'm telling you, if you do it there, we're going to have security alerts, and that interferes with other people's safety and comfort. So you're not lawfully, just because you've got an intrinsic right to do something, okay?
Today we're looking at a courtroom battle between self-proclaimed sovereign citizens telling the auditor, and a judge who refuses to fly the drone again. The defendant is facing serious charges. Hotel manager doesn't want bars for years, but personal preference on the classic sovereign citizen tactics. Flight has already been verified as I don't legal under CIA rules, as if that somehow makes the case disappear. Manager or not, and the judge makes that clear from the very beginning. What's striking here is the judge's auditor's position by saying just no patience for because you have an intrinsic no tolerance for made-up laws. If having a right just is steady, controlled hand, that's exactly what rights are for. It sets the tone for everything lawful action from being shut. And it quickly escalates down by discomfort into tense disapproval. As you watch, think about whether the judge balanced firmness with fairness. I think he handled it exactly right, but I'll let you decide. Let's dive in.
I've got
security alerts don't trump the law, though.
Shout at the top of my lungs. If I went to 1 inch of your eardrum and shouted at the top of my lungs, that would be an assault. Ah, you're getting it.
Because I'm a person that's saying you're breaching my peace. Me at 120 meters up there, out of sight of anybody, I'm not doing anything, mate. I saw another drone up there earlier. When I was flying, there was a second drone, by the way.
Was there?
Yeah.
Right.
I thought it may have been you guys.
I haven't given that person a direct warning, so...
I'm just letting you know there was a second drone up there.
And it's you're not the first person to come and do this, but you're the first person to behave as damn childishly about it. But there you go. I've given you a direct warning. You have a good day.
As the interaction finally battle between self-proclaimed officer walks away having gotten and a judge who refuses to play along. Not through lawful. The defendant is facing serious charges pressure, that could land him behind bars for years. Intimidation. Yet he still leans before on the classic sovereign citizen tactics. Out one last lines like calling the I don't consent. Childish. As if that final petty remark makes the case disappear. Perfectly sums up his approach. And the judge makes that clear from the very unprofessional and what's striking here an ego rather than no nonsense approach. Understanding no patience for theatrics. This encounter, no tolerance is a textbook case of failed policing. Just a steady, from the very start, hand the officer that sets the tone aggressive for everything that follows. Baseless legal escalates and ignored tense exchange. Opportunity to de-escalate. Think about even whether the judge, the auditor, made it abundantly clear. I think he handled it operating lawfully, but I'll let you decide. Drone flight was within CIA regulations. The airspace wasn't restricted in this. Auditor had been transparent with both station security and the hotel. All key facts that the officer repeatedly chose to ignore. Instead, he pushed forward with threats of arrest under Section 50, without any reasonable suspicion of antisocial behavior, misused breach of the peace as a catch-all justification, and relied on a so-called drone specialist who failed to accurately interpret current drone law, even after everything was verified, the legality of the flight, the insurance, the airspace. The officer still refused to back down, instead shifting to policing feelings and personal opinions. The auditor warned him calmly and repeatedly that he was overstepping. He outlined his rights, presented the law, and stood his ground with composure. But the officer wasn't interested in dialogue or legality, only compliance, the bullying tone, the misuse of authority, and the complete disregard for civil liberties. All point to one thing, a power trip, disguised as police work. The auditor walked away having proven his point, and the officer, whether he realizes it or not, walked straight into the kind of civil claim that will hold him to account. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me continue with my independent coverage. Also, don't forget to check out DJ. His channel is linked in the description. Show him some love. Thanks for watching.